He is the Tinfoil Chef, a man with a video love.
76 chips if I want to continue in this hand. This one is one that's against my better judgment, and when I say something is against my better judgment, I almost always end up finding out that I was right. I shouldn't have played it, but I'm going to do it anyway this time, just to see how it turns out. Well, at least nobody 3-bet. Ace, king, deuce, 10, 7, yeah. And now all in to continue. Well, he's going all in. I'd have to call 1194, which I'm not going to do, because I have a sneaking suspicion that True Blue here just hit the ace and is sitting there with trip aces or a pair. All right, he's got ace, king, so he's got a pair of aces. Yeah. Pair of aces with a king kicker takes it. The ace-9 is probably out. No? 2 pair, aces and 9s. You see, I looked at that and didn't even see it. That's ridiculous. I normally see things like that a lot better. Alright, queen deuce, not even gonna think about it. Meanwhile, we're down to 34 players, and the game goes on break in 27 minutes. I think folding the queen deuce was a good idea. We already have a pre-flop raise. Four, 9, 2. That would give me a whopping pair of 2s if I had stayed in. No. Sorry, that's just not gonna slice it. Not at all. Not without pairing the queen. That's a hefty enough bet that they either really have something strong or they're just trying to price everybody out of the market by making it too expensive to continue. Because the only people that are going to call that are somebody that has something that has a chance of winning. Okay, is this one going to call? No, I didn't think so. All right. And a 2-7. I don't care if it is suited. No. 34 players left. Blinds going up in 1 minute to 75 and 150. We have a 595 pre-flop raise, which is going to probably price most people out of the hand entirely. Or I could be wrong. We've got 3 people representing strong hands here with those raises. And I have a sneaky feeling the other 2 are going to fold. That one timed out and the other one folded. Now the original raiser gets to call or fold or re-raise. This one is all in, which is another raise. So it's been 2-bet, 3-bet, it's been like 4-bet already. And April Fool's one there ought to go ahead and just call the last little bit. Jack King, 8-7? It went all in with an 8-7 pre-flop? Who does that? I'm sorry, who does that? Okay, it looks like the Jack king is going to take it. Pair of queens with a king kicker. Yep. Queen 10 offsuit on the big blind. Alright. I'll check and limp in for 100. Now there's a pre-flop raise to think about. I'll call it, even though I probably shouldn't. Pair of queens. Alright, let's bet the queens. And I'm going to bet the queens again. It would be nice if the 10 would pair. The 2's paired, so I'll bet that. 2 pair, queens and 10s, or queens and 2s. And it just got too expensive for the other guy. Alright. That I go along with. Ace Jack on the small blind. They're suited. I'll call that. Yeah, that's a hand with some potential. Up to 4,000 chips, 4,100, whatever. Doing better. Paired the ace, so let's bet that. Alright, I will call that. So a pair of aces is pretty good. They can still get cracked easily enough. Ace 8 versus Ace Jack. Ace Jack owns it unless another... Alright, aces and 8s, 2 pair. Ace 8 takes it, and that just cost me. It was well played though. If that 8 hadn't come up on the river... Alright, folding a 4-8 offsuit. 30 people remaining. The average chip stack is 2613, which puts me in decent position with 3381. But the only position that counts is being among the last 5 with chips. And we have 2 more all-ins. Pocket kings, ace 9, pocket 5s. The kings are in the lead right now. Pocket kings own it. Yeah. Wait a minute. Straight to the jack. Again, I didn't see that. Okay, move to a new table. Means we're down to 27 players. Some of the usernames that people come up with is always interesting. Who would want to call themselves Big Ugly? Legally Bad has a number of possible implications. River Kamikaze, that says a lot. Cubbies won in 08. Let me guess, they're a Cubs fan that signed up in 08. Alright, when this hand finishes, I should be... it should include everybody now. Yes. Queen 9. Let's see what we have in the way of raises. Pre-flop action. I don't really want to spend a whole lot on a queen 9 unless it hits something on the flop. I'll call the minimum though. 9-10 Jack Queen. So I've got a straight growing here. There's also 4 clubs to a flush. So that could be good. It could also sink me. But we'll bet it anyway. Now if the turn and river were to come up ace king clubs, which is not, but that's a pair of 10s. I could still get a club on the river here. So I'm going to check, because I'm not totally confident here. Ace of spades on the river does me no good at all. What I come out of this with is a pair of 10s with a queen kicker. I'm going to check. I don't want to spend any more cash on this, I don't think. And that was a good reason why. The 9 king beat my queen. And 10-7 offsuit, I'm not even going to think about. Okay, we're coming up on a break in 18 minutes. 24 people left. With a name like River Kamikaze, I would expect this person to have a tendency to go all in on the river. Of course, that's not necessarily so, but that name gives you that picture. I had a 10 of clubs and 7 of diamonds. Nothing. I got no piece of that flop. And one of the things I've learned is that unless you in some way hit the flop, it's probably a good idea to fold. Which makes folding ahead of all that, without placing any money at risk, a better idea. If you can somehow see it coming, of course. Which you can't really. Alright, queen, king, we'll call that. And now I would have to go all in to play that. All in or very close to it. 28-10 more. This is a risk. I'm going to hope that, okay, ace queen against queen king. Ace is paired. Now, aces and sixes win it, and I am down to 121 chips. Now, I could make a comeback from that. I had one time I was down to like 50 chips and made a comeback sufficient to actually get me on the final table, but I am now folding a 5-10 because it's Terrassurino. It doesn't matter. Next hand I'm going to be on the big blind and I'll be all in automatically. So my tournament could be over very, very soon. Such is the way it works. 5-10. I had a 5-10 and there's a king 4 queen on the board. Folding that was a very good idea. It didn't hit the flop at all. 9 of spades on the turn doesn't help anything. Queen, so there's a pair of queens on the board. Anybody with a queen now has trips, 3 of a kind, and that's going to make for pretty strong. Yeah, anybody betting with a sudden queen on the river like that. All right, I am now all in with a Jack 5. And a whopping 121 chips. King Queen against Jack 5. I paired the Jack, so that's good. As long as nothing pairs the King or the Queen. Jacks and 8s. Alright. I survived the big blind. And now I have enough that I don't necessarily have to call the small blind. With a 9-8. All in. I don't like it, but they're connectors, and hey, how about that? Everybody folded. So, alright, A7. Alright, A7. Let's all in that. Just simply because my stack is so low that if I bet and miss, I'm going to be right back to where I was a minute ago with almost no chips. And an ace, almost anything has got a chance if it hits the flop, which this didn't really. There is sort of a straight draw on there with the 10, 7, 8. But it would need a couple cards to hit. King, King, and an Ace, Queen. 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack. I have nothing. I have nuclear squadouche. And I am eliminated from the tournament in 21st place. Well, it could have been worse. I could have been eliminated 2 or 3 hands ago. And as tournaments go, not too awfully bad. I have done a lot better. And like I said, I've finished in 2nd, 3rd, and 5th place several times in these tournaments. And I'll be playing another one of these fairly soon, like later today, and so on. Let me know if you're at all interested in seeing more of this. And there is also of course there is also the possibility of playing Poker Stars, which is a completely different setup, a completely different site, and it doesn't have this tournament series that goes to the World Series of Poker main event like pureplay.com does, but it's still entertaining. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.
Mr. TinFoilChef